In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. If you want to engage live in the content, you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man. That's LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like these awesome people coming in right now. Thank you guys for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours on Instagram. After 24 hours, you'll need to pop on over to YouTube, type in a keyword search Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show. We got a podcast for it. It's over on Apple Podcast as well as Stitcher, called Jimmy Rants as well. See, I keep all the branding the same. Jimmy Rants, Instagram Live, YouTube, podcast, it's all the same. And all of it, you guys, is at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants is, surprise, surprise, another fasting one. For those of you that are brand new, that maybe you haven't seen us lately, what we're doing here on Jimmy Rants, we are deep in the midst of doing an extended fast. So it was about Sunday week ago, I put out a call on social media, who wants to join me on a 7-day water and salt fast. And 2,000 people decided to show up and do this fast with me, which I was very honored and glad to hear. Made me wish I had done this a lot sooner. Had no idea so many people wanted to go on a fast, but a bunch of you started, a few of you have dropped out. That's all good. Those of us that are still in it, it is officially day number 4, and we're in the afternoon. I actually started on the 4th of July, right after my meal around midday. So I am, as of right now, over 100 hours into this 7-day fast, which is a pretty cool benchmark, because by the time you get to 100 hours, you really feel like you'll never eat again. Now, eventually I will eat again, but it's a cool feeling. The energy, the mood stabilization, the hunger control. I will tell you, you still get a little bit of the little spaciness from time to time. That's still there. I just finished a podcast for the Living La Vida Low Carb show with a researcher, and at the end of it, he was like, dude, you were on your game today. I said, man, I'm 5 days into a fast, so my brain is firing on all cylinders with ketones right now. He's like, I can tell you were sharp, man. High praise from a researcher is never bad. So yeah, and then just feel really good. And so what I've been doing on these Jimmy Rants videos is kind of highlighting various aspects of fasting. And today is an interesting one because people have noticed some very interesting bathroom habits. And oh yeah, by the way, TMI alert, this is a major gross alert. We're going to talk about poop on this Jimmy Rants. Because what we're going to talk about here today is, why am I still pooping deep into an extended fasting period? Yep, people want to know, how in the world am I pooping on day 4, day 5 of a fast? And it's a fascinating discussion, because early on, when you first start fasting and you first start doing the first couple of days, you notice that you pee a lot. And part of that is where your body is dumping glycogen stores. So glycogen is stored in water in your muscles, which is why you pee a lot when you first start. Plus you're replenishing Everybody get your water ready. Dilly dilly. You're replenishing that water on a regular basis, and so you're going to pee a lot. In fact, at that barbecue the other night, what day was that? Day 2 of the fast, maybe day 3. It was around 2-3 when it was really the hard day for me, and we were around barbecue. Yeah, I was drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and that night I think I got up to go to the bathroom 7 or 8 times within the first 2 hours of going to the bed. I was like, shouldn't have even gone to the bed. I should just stayed in the bathroom. But it's interesting because you notice some interesting changes that happen in your digestive system when you're not eating. Because when you think, okay, all that food that I had on July 4th, and when I started this fast, all of it would be out of you by now. It probably is, but there are remnants of stuff that's still coming out. And I had that happen this morning. I talked about this on the earlier Jimmy Rants. This morning, I woke up and I had that really urgent kind of diarrhea that when it comes out of you, you're just like, ugh, what is this? It's disgusting. It's gross. But that's the kind of stuff that happens when you're on an extended fast. And people freak out about it. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. No. Look at it as a way of your body getting rid of some things in your body that you did not want in there. And part of it is the salt that you're consuming is helping you excrete some of those things you don't want in your body. So I use the Redmond's Real Salt. Part of it is, and I see my friends from Keto Chow just got on here. Part of it is the fasting drops has a very concentrated high level of sodium and magnesium in it. Definitely go get these, you guys. And so that also facilitates, along with the dilly water that you drink, to move things out. And I don't want you to see the fact that you're still having stuff come out in day number 4 or later into an extended fast as a bad thing. It's nothing but a good thing. And for me, I remind myself, oh yeah, my body is cleaning itself up. So by day 4 of a fast, you've already gotten some of the autophagy stuff starting to happen. Well, guess what? It's getting rid of and cleaning up some of the old proteins and things that are floating around your body. How do you think it gets out of your body? Right? Urination and excretion in other ways. Again, I told you, major TMI gross alert here today. And if you're just joining us, yes, Jimmy Moore is talking about poop here on Jimmy Rants today. And the question is, why am I still pooping so deep into extended fasting? And it fascinates people because they don't know that physiologically you're still going to have stuff in there. And I've done some very long fasts before, 21 days a few times. Day 13, still stuff. Day 17, still stuff. And sometimes the stuff that comes out, and again, I apologize if you're about to have dinner soon, but this is real life, this is real fasting, and I want you to know what to expect, that this is normal. It's kind of gross, it's kind of yellowy, and it's just gross. It's gonna be stringy, it's gross. Little pellet, it's gross. But it's real, it's what comes out. And I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, something weird's happening in my body. No, it's not. It's happening to all of us. All of us are dealing with that. And it's nothing but a good thing. I think some of it is some of the gut health stuff is starting to get cleaned up. So when you have bad bacteria that has been plaguing your digestive system, and then you don't feed it food for a period of time, which now we are officially in day 4, some of us into day 5 now. When you don't feed your gut any food at all, some of that bad bacteria dies off. And in the die off, it needs to get out of your body. And so you need to look at this excretion that's happening through your poop as a good thing. And it's a very good thing. So, yeah, and that's going to continue. You know, we're officially in day 4. Day 6 of this 7-day fast is going to be the same way. And that's when your body starts to see some of the healing take place. I've already noticed that the clearing of my skin has really happened a lot. I've noticed that I feel better after I had that issue this morning that I talked about. I felt so much better. Now, you replenish. When you have one of those kind of poops, be sure you're replenishing really well. Dilly dilly. In fact, we haven't done our salt yet, so everybody get your salt out. Get your salt ready. We're going to do salt together on camera. And we're going to put a little bit in. Oh, that's a whole lot. Oh, Jimmy Moore's got a whole lot in his hand here. All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Woo! So we got home to our South Carolina home today, and the lady that was watching our chickens for us, she saw me dousing salt in my mouth. And she's like, "Did you just eat salt? Like straight up?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Why?" She knows what I do for a living. She's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm fasting right now. I'm in day number 5 of fasting." Dilly dilly, by the way. And she was like, "Okay, Jimmy, eating salt. That's interesting." I have no shame in eating my salt in the midst of a fast. Salt is life on fasting. So, but yeah, fasting, well, it does bring out the weird poops. And I just had to come on here and talk about this because I don't think enough people talk about this aspect of fasting. And that it's quite normal to have strange poops. I had somebody earlier say that the first 3 days of fasting, they didn't poop at all. Now that's odd to me because if you're salting enough and you're getting enough magnesium and sodium like you are from the fasting drops and you're drinking enough water, you should be seeing some pretty major amount of bowel movements happening. So that's fascinating to me, people saying that they're not having bowel movements. The norm is having those ones like I had this morning, where you have to hurriedly get to the bathroom, and then, as I said earlier in the week, you're peeing out your butt. I don't know any other way to say it, but that's basically what it is. You're peeing out your butt. And you've got to see every time that that's happening, your body is cleaning itself out. You're getting rid of stuff it doesn't want anymore. This is a really weird topic for me to talk about, guys, but I wanted to bring real world, real life to this fasting discussion because nobody's talking about this. But I don't want people to think that something's gone wrong because they're having... In fact, some people will say, "Well, I had diarrhea, so I had to stop the fast." No, this isn't necessarily, quote, diarrhea. You're not sick, but your body is using the very natural systems in your body to get rid of bad stuff. Otherwise, how do you think it's getting out? How do you think you are ridding your body of some of the toxins that maybe are being released from that stored body fat? I posted a picture a little bit earlier today of my ketone reading on the keto device. Let me see if I can find that here. Here it is. So I posted that. Very high, deep ketosis. I use this breath ketone meter. I'm going to be testing tomorrow the Keto Coach X blood ketone monitor to see how my blood ketones are going. But that's hardcore, heavy level of deep ketosis. So when you're in that good of a fasted state, that your ketones are really, really high, and your body is doing really good things metabolically to mobilize stored body fat, you've just got to know that part of the side effect of that is you got to get rid of stuff. And so it's just going to sit in your body if it doesn't go out at the backside. Again, I don't know any other tactful way of putting that, but if you want to see the benefits that come from extended fasting, you have to be willing to have stuff come out the backside. And that's just the truth of fasting. And it will continue to come out. And every time it comes out, I hope you celebrate. Don't celebrate too loud because your spouse or your kids will think you're really crazy. But it's good stuff happening. And I don't want anybody to feel weird about, "Oh my gosh, I've got stuff coming out the backside. It's disgusting." And yeah, it is. That's what was inside of you. That was maybe what was making you feel bad. That was maybe what was going to make you sicker had you not gotten rid of it. And now it's out of your body. Good things, right? So I want you to see it in that way. People freak out over the smallest little things on a fast. And this is one of them. If you're seeing really good excretion happening when you are in the midst of an extended fast, celebrate. Enjoy the ride. Get rid of those toxins. And remember that the next time you go on a fast. Okay, let's wait for those toxins to get out this time. And cumulatively over time, those things will get out of your body and you will feel so much better. That's the pay dirt of doing this. That's the pay dirt of getting this deep into a fast, wanting to see that kind of benefit take place. And I hope you see it in that way. All right, I want to see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here today on Jimmy Rants. Miss you, bud. Well, I miss you too, the Keto Road. Thanks for popping in on Jimmy Rants today. Ooh, that's a great question. Yes, why am I still pooping deep into an extended fast? You do. Or in this case, you do. See what I did there? It's the ketones. Blame the ketones. My brain is always working. Fasting is life, says Primal Voyage. Well, it's our life right now, isn't it? Cincy Girl, Keto Girl says, I'm about 92 hours in. Why could I be nauseous? Well, there's a lot of things that could cause that. I still believe when you're deep into a fast and you suddenly get some kind of a symptom like nausea, it's because something has been released from your fat stores. And so hang in there, see if it passes. If at some point that nausea does not pass and you're drinking water and you're doing all the salt and all the electrolyte stuff and you're still dealing with it, a couple hours later, please end the fast. You tried, you did well, you got to this point, end the fast, try again later. But if you can ride it out and it's simply just the temporary releasing of something that caused that, try to ride it out, see how you do. But don't be the hero. If it gets too bad, please end your fast. Beth says, I stopped at 84 hours. I'm excited to do it again and for longer the next time. New insights will help flexing my fasting muscle. And Beth, you did well. You got to 84 hours. That is hard freaking core. So I'm really proud of you. Tiff says, my husband started a water fast on July the 1st. He hit 7 days yesterday, is ready to break the fast. What's the best food to start back with? Well, I wasn't going to talk about breaking a fast until about day 6, and we're only on day 4. I will tell you in short, have a little something, a few peely nuts, an F-bomb, a little salad, just a little something about 45 to 60 minutes before you break the fast. And then whatever normal foods you would eat those, but know that you're probably only going to be able to have about half of the size of food that you would normally eat. Nadia says, I'm 113 hours in, can't believe it. Anytime I feel hungry, I have salt, the feeling goes away. It is amazing how powerful just putting a little bit of that salt on your tongue. I put it underneath the tongue. It gets into the bloodstream really fast, and you get that sensation that you've had something to eat, and you're good. It's pretty amazing. I get to a point where the salt doesn't get rid of that feeling, I will stop. Well, the salt has done that for me too. Every single time I have that feeling that I need something, I have the salt and it perks me right back up. Sunshine Tricks has a great question, and it's definitely related to what we're talking about here today. What about gas? All right, Christine let out the message yesterday when she was on the special edition of Jimmy Rants, which showed up on Nutritional Pearls podcast today. She said, you gonna talk about you farting in day 3 of the fast? I said, well, honey, I wasn't gonna, but thanks for calling me out. Yes. And it's yet another sign that good things are happening in your digestion and in your gut health. And I want you to know that's normal too. So yes, I've had gas yesterday. I had it again this morning. And it's funny because you think, I haven't had any food. Why am I flatulent? Why am I having this happen? And I think it's more of that healing that has taken place in your gut. So don't be alarmed. If you've got poop coming out in day 4, if you got farts coming out in day 4, that's all normal. It sounds so weird because you think, how in the world? But you got to remember, again, you're digesting stored body fat that you're eating off of your body. I showed you my ketosis on keto just a second ago, showing that I'm deep into ketosis, which means that stored body fat is being tapped into hard. And when you do that, your body is consuming that stored body fat. Well, what happens when you consume anything food-wise? And you got to count the stored body fat as food on the body. That's right, you're going to digest it. And so the byproduct of that is going to be flatulence, is going to be having some periods of pooping. I don't know how to do this tactfully, so I'm just saying it bluntly. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Calico says, oh, thank goodness, I was starting to feel concerned. Glad you are giving us the scoop on the poop. Yes, I'm giving you the scoop on the poop. I'm your roving reporter today, doing the fasting of 7-day fasting, day 4. How's your poop today? Jennifer says, I did 24-hour fast all the time. When I try to go past that, I get so sad and miss food. Any advice? Yeah, stop thinking about food, sweetie. 24 hours is pretty easy for most people that are keto adapted. This is where you take your mind off of it. I'm literally in day number 5 of a fast, and I haven't thought about food at all. And maybe it just takes time pushing it a little more. So my challenge to you, Jennifer, would be, okay, you've never gotten past 24 without thinking of food. Try 36. If you get to 36 and you successfully do 36, next time try 48. Each time you're building that fasting muscle more and more and more. Now, let me make this clear. I haven't said this at all during these fasting videos. I don't think everyone needs to extended fast. I think most people probably get most of the great benefits that come from fasting by implementing intermittent fasting in the midst of their keto. I do think there is value for most people once a year to do at least 7 to 10 days of fasting. I remember I interviewed a gentleman, Dr. Thomas Seyfried from Boston College. He's a researcher that's looking into ketogenic diets and fasting for cancer. And he's the one that put that on my radar screen 10 years ago, that if you want to prevent cancer, one of the best things that you can do is go on a water-only fast for a period of 7 to 10 days once a year. So those of you that are doing this 7-day fast with me, this could be the one time that you needed to do this year. And if you do that cumulatively over time, and I think a lot of the benefits that come from this that prevent cancer has to do with autophagy, has to do with longevity that happens from fasting. And of course, when you keto after it, it continues those benefits long afterwards. Steph says, I'll be back to watch on replay, 100 hours, feeling quite great. No dry mouth in the morning, no postural low blood pressure this fast at all. That is awesome. Beth says, even though I'm not fasting right now, I'm still participating in dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. There's nothing wrong with hydrating whether you're fasting or not, so drink up. Mama 3 Chick says, 84 and a half hours in, I was still doing great. Then no willpower, picked at cheese and pepperoni. I'm so mad at myself. I'll keep going though, just mad at myself. I was doing great. Well, Mama 3 Chicks, please go back and watch my Jimmy Rants from this morning. I spoke to people just like you to give you encouragement that you did not mess up. You did something very good. So please watch that one from earlier. Go to jimmyrants.com. It's right there if you missed it. Miranda says, I still poop something after 21 days. Yeah, people, it blows their minds, Miranda, because they think, I haven't eaten. How in the world am I still pooping? And it reminds you guys, of all that stuff that's in there. Think about how many people eat in the day-to-day, and then stuff comes out when they poop. I mean, it's amazing. It stays in there. There's all kind of stuff. So one thing that fasting does is kind of a roto-rooter for your whole metabolism, where you just got stuff coming out and you want it out. You don't want that stuff in there. Get it out. Bad stuff. But in the day-to-day of eating, and you never give yourself a chance to give your body and your metabolism and your digestive system and your gut health a rest, how do you ever fully clean all that stuff out? I don't think you do. And I wonder how many years worth of stuff is still in there. Kind of gross to think about, but that's kind of what we're doing here today on Jimmy Rants. Norma says, haven't gone since the morning of the 4th of July, dealing with constipation due to pain medication. Well, that's a different story. If you're taking some pain medication, then yes, that could probably clog you up. I mean, do the best you can. I hate that you have to take the pain med in the midst of a fast, but if you're not going, you need to do something to make yourself go. If it means salting up a little more, magnesium up a little more, do something, because it's not going to be good if you don't have that excretion happen. Nadia says, I haven't been using the keto drops, only salt, magnesium, malate at night, and water. No weird stuff at all yet. It's coming. And I also wonder how much of that has to do with the individual. If you have a lot of body weight still that maybe needs to be burned, that's a different situation than someone who's doing this fasting for some of the mental health benefits, and have less body weight. So it probably does play a factor. My mother was so against using salt, says Norma. She rolled over in her grave numerous times all throughout this fast. Well, yeah, sadly, we were so wrong. Like we were with saturated fat, we were so wrong about salt. Rose says, I just went and checked my blood pressure. It was 157/86. It's been high. The time before, 132/79. Is that from the salt? Salt does not raise your blood pressure. That is a common myth about salt. Salt doesn't do that. I would say might be some stress. It might be a response from the cortisol that happens in the midst of doing fasting when you're in this period. I don't know where you are on your fasting road, but if you are early on, there could be somewhat of a stress response. This is one of the common criticisms of doing extended fasting. Well, you're putting your body through such stress, it's very metabolically unhealthy. And in the first couple of days, I agree with them that it could be challenging, but you get to a certain point where things calm down. And I wonder where you are in your fast that won't come down here maybe in the next day or two, because fasting will drop your blood pressure. New Manx wants to know, why am I so achy? My joints are hurting, specifically my hips. Strange. It's not strange to me. I think when you start mobilizing a lot of that stored body fat and getting it out of your body, in that body fat, and I'm going to emphasize this again and again, you guys, in the body fat is there to protect you. What's it protecting you from? Various toxins that have entered the body somehow, some way, either through food or environmental type things, and it traps it away in the stored body fat. Well, when you start mobilizing that stored body fat, you're going to have symptoms pop up. And so don't blame it simply on fasting. It could be the fasting is doing its job so well that it's released it into your blood system. I don't think it's going to be something that'll last a while, but if it becomes too much, by all means, end this fast. Sharon says, I've not been going that much. My headache is back. Not feeling fabulous, but not as bad as day 2, almost 95 hours in. See, if you have a headache at 95 hours in, that's not withdrawal from caffeine anymore. And it would make me say, maybe you're dehydrated a bit. I know you're probably thinking, man, I've dilly-dillied so much, and you've salted so much. But I also wonder subjectively in the back of our minds, I wonder how many of us say, well, I want salt, but I don't want too much. I'd say maybe up your salt and your water, because I do think that helps with some of that headache stuff. Sorry you're not feeling well. If at some point it becomes too much, Sharon, please don't be the hero in this fast. Caden says, I'm at 2.4 beta hydroxybutyrate with blood glucose of 66. Yeah, tomorrow I will be getting my Keto Coach X meter. I could not find it for the life of me. I could not find my blood ketone meter. So tomorrow I will be testing when it arrives, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I have a feeling my ketones are really high as well because I feel it. I feel good. I feel very energetic. My brain's on fire. So I know that ketones are good. I got back from my trip and I'm having trouble finding any of my testing supplies. So I don't know what happened, but I will try to test glucose as well. Beth says, I had pain in my hips. I can't swallow pills without eating a bite of food. So I diluted Epsom salt in a bottle with water and it helped. Awesome. Lisa says, what's with the snotty nose? You have a snotty nose? My nose is pretty clear. I did hear somebody say that they had more boogers since they started fasting. See, it's total gross alert. We're going to talk about poop and boogers today. Poop and booger clarity is coming soon to a store near you. Yeah, I mean, again, I think your body might be trying to excrete things out of your body. That's the only thing I can think of as to why you would be having that. Newman says, I've been taking magnesium, but my hips are still hurting. Well, hang in there. Daegu says, I stopped at 94 hours, just didn't feel the best. Feeling proud as before, I only did 42 hours. Well, you should be proud. That's over double. So that's awesome. Lee's agent says, I'm still having trouble sleeping. I'm 4 days in. Yeah, trouble sleeping can be an issue for some people. And I wonder again, what impact is releasing the toxins in your body having on your sleep? Now, I do think you can put your body in a well-rested state. Get out in the sun during the daytime. Breathe in fresh air. And do all of those things. And an hour before bedtime, have a little bit of liquid magnesium, not citrate, literally any other version but citrate. And you should sleep well, and meditate and de-stress. All of those things should help you sleep. It's a little foreign concept to me because my sleep is so dialed in so well that when I hit the pillow, I'm out pretty quick and I sleep really well. But I know not everybody came into this fast with their circadian rhythm so strong. Trick says your blood ketone meter is that blood or breath test, which is more accurate. Well, blood is the gold standard. I will always say test blood first, but there are some pretty good sophisticated proxies for blood, which is what the breath ketone is. So breath ketone measures acetone in the breath. The blood ketones measure beta hydroxybutyrate. Beta hydroxybutyrate is what's physically floating around in the body at the given time that you test your blood. Acetone is the byproduct of fat burning that is happening in the breath and excreted out the body. So it measures two different ways. Breath is more a proxy for fat burning. Beta hydroxybutyrate is exactly what is happening in your blood at that time, which is why I'm a big fan of testing blood. So if you're going to test blood, the Keto Coach X is the meter that I like. It's by far the most accurate on the market. And then if you're going to test breath, Ketonics Bluetooth. Get the Ketonics Bluetooth. I think it's ketonics.co is the website for that one. I love it because it measures on your phone and it shows you a readout, and it's really awesome. And then the new one that I posted about earlier on social media is called Keto, Keyto. And if you just Google that, you'll find them. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I do like their meter. Miranda said, recently I got colonics done after my 21-day water fast. Stuff I hadn't eaten for months was coming out. I saw it and the practitioner told me about it. Ew. TP Running Nurse says, I went 90 hours and the longest before was 72. I love all these people breaking their personal records with fasting. Deb wants to know, if you fast frequently, do you see a slowdown in the releasing of toxins with each fast? You should. You should if you do fasting on a regular basis. But keep in mind, it also depends on how long you've been metabolically broken. I mean, I started 410 pounds back in 2004, and I lost weight that year. But I'm sure even after losing all the weight on the Atkins diet that year, I still had stuff deep in there from a couple of decades worth of growing in obesity. So when I was 21 years old and that McDonald's supersize fry and Big Mac meal and a Coca-Cola and all still may be trapped in there. So it could take more times fasting for others. So just be patient with yourself. And I see every time you fast, you see these poop experiences take place or the release of toxins, and it's not pleasant. Just look at it as, okay, I'm getting a little more healed, a little more healed, a little more healed. And cumulatively over time, that's going to be nothing but good for your long-term health. Bridget says, there are many weird symptoms we are having. This is my third 7-day fast, this time not losing as much. And don't worry about the weight loss. I think people put so much focus on weight loss, which, by the way, when I got back home today, I stepped on the scale, and in about 4.5 days now, I've lost 10 pounds. Now, I've talked about the weight loss. You're only supposed to lose about 0.5 pound a day of body fat. And anything above that means you're insulin resistant. Well, duh, as if I didn't know I was insulin resistant. And I'm not worried about that I'm going to gain back some of that 10 pounds. Now, I'll lose a little more in the next few days while I continue this fasting. But the fact that you haven't lost any weight, maybe you don't need to lose weight. And maybe you'll get a sudden whoosh of weight loss at some point during this fast. So don't put your eggs in the basket of weight loss meaning anything in the midst of this fast. You will lose weight if you continue on it. Gundolin says, I have random heartburn, no nausea. It comes and goes, not enough to make me end it, but I'd really like it to stop. I'm at 96 hours, so excited that I've gone this long. I'm excited that you've gone this long too, but I think some of that heartburn could also be some of those gut health changes happening. Whereas they manifest on the backside for some people, it could manifest on the front side in the form of heartburn for you. So don't let it discourage you. It does sound like good things are happening. Kay Clasp says, I'm 100 hours in. I got up in the night and took a pinch of salt with some water. Within a couple of minutes, I was nauseous and it came back up. What might cause that? Well, maybe you're already well salted. Maybe you had enough sodium and salt in your body that you didn't need to salt. So good for you trying to be preemptive, but I wonder if you got enough during the day, you don't really need as much in the middle of the night. And I have noticed too, and you guys probably have noticed this too, the deeper you've gotten into the fast, you find you don't really need as much salt and as much electrolytes as you did early on in the fast. So keep that in mind. Your body's no longer dumping glycogen stores, which is where you would be losing that salt and electrolytes early on. Now, day 4 of a fast, you should be rocking and rolling and have plenty of those minerals in your body. Now, still salt a little, still have the fasting drops and all that we're doing, but maybe you don't have to do it to the degree that you did over the first few days. Bridget says, I think everyone should do at least a 5-day fast. You learn so much about your body. I agree, Bridget. 5 to 7 days is such an eye-opening experience. The problem is most people don't have the will or the want to ever do that. And what I've tried to do with this water fasting challenge, you guys, is normalize not eating. Because it's quite normal. In this day and age of food availability, people, oh, that's abnormal, you've got an eating disorder, and they say all these ugly, weird, nasty, stupid things born out of ignorance. And what they don't realize is hunter-gatherer ancestors very naturally did this, and did this a lot. And it's one reason they stayed healthy. It's one reason they didn't develop some of the chronic diseases that we have. We want to blame a lot of the chronic diseases of our day on carbohydrates, and rightfully so. But I think a big factor is we eat too darn much, too darn often, too much. And when you fast for 5 to 7 days, you get so in tune with your body that it reminds you, oh my goodness, what am I doing in the day-to-day of my eating? It's pretty eye-opening. So thank you for that. Berkeley says, my ketones were 2.8 this morning, glucose 65, hoping for higher ketones, but it is climbing. Your goal is not higher ketones. I know people post their keto. Oh, I have 4.7, I have 5.8, I have a blood sugar of 51, 57. Don't do that. I think the more keto adapted you are, fat adapted you are, you're going to have lower ketones. You're not going to have these super high ketones. People do this on keto all the time. Well, I see other people just starting keto and they have 5.7 blood keto. Okay, that's them. That's them. If you've been at this a little while, your body has become so efficient at using ketones, you're not going to have as high. My goal within the context of nutritional ketosis is to have a big fat 0 for blood ketones and yet feel all the effects of nutritional ketosis, because what you want is as you make ketones, you're using them. As you make them, you use them. As you make them, you use them. That would come back to a 0. Now, fasting, you're probably not going to see that because your body is super duper revving up ketones to a higher level. So the fact that you have 2.8 Berkeley, for other people in the same situation as you, they may have a 4.5, a 5.7. Your 2.8 is probably more indicative that you're very well keto adapted and you're using those ketones efficiently. So don't bemoan it. It's a good thing. M Man says, lots of gas here. Digestive system is working well. Detox is yet another benefit of fasting. I would say it's one of the major benefits of fasting. In my book with Christine, we wrote called Real Food Keto, we talked about detoxification, and one of the major long-time uses of detoxification is fasting and doing it. Ray says, started last night at 9 p.m. Just needed to get the weekend out of the way. Have done 72 hours before. Looking forward to killing this. Thanks so much. You're welcome, Ray, and kill it, buddy. Get it, get it, get it. Justin says, I've had heart skips and flutters even with a good amount of salting. I'm doing 1 meal a day now. Yeah, I definitely would not advise anything about the heart. Go see a doctor about that. Generally, that is an electrolyte imbalance and or dehydration, so make sure that you have... I know we say to ourselves, okay, I'm having plenty of salt, I'm having plenty of electrolyte, but maybe not. And it's going to be so varied from person to person that there's not a prescriptive amount of salt or water that people should be drinking. It's going to vary from person to person depending on your situation. Tammy says, I want that euphoric feeling. I didn't fast with you this round, but will in August. I'm enjoying all the videos. Well, thanks for hanging out. I love all the people that are just watching. They're like, are these people going to die? No, we're not dead. We're very much alive. Sue says, having a wonderful day. Slept in this morning, missed the video. I love day 4. Yeah, this has been a pretty fantastic day for me too. We did travel home today. I've got to mow my grass here later this afternoon, and it's like in the 90s today here in South Carolina. So gonna hydrate up and then just gonna take it in stride and just see how I do. But yeah, day 4 is pretty awesome. M Man says, I think fasting is a great next step for the healing journey. Low carb to keto to carnivore, now fasting. My body definitely adapts to my diet and my metabolism slows down. Fasting will keep it up. Yes. Good stuff. Deborah says, super nauseous today. Suggestions. I'm just entering day 5. Yeah, we talked about nausea earlier on this Jimmy Rants, and yesterday. It could just be a sign, Deborah, that good things are happening in your body with the release of body fat stores. People just discount this whole idea that your body is getting rid of stuff that doesn't need to be there. And when you're burning stored body fat, you're going to have these periods, these moments where you might not feel your best. I know it sucks in the meantime. So what I told someone earlier was, if you've got that and it continues for hours, please end the fast. But just know that it's very likely a direct result. If you're drinking enough water and you're getting enough electrolytes, it's probably a direct result of your body cleaning out some old toxins. So don't be discouraged. Can you just use pink salt and water? You could, Elizabeth. I think pink Himalayan sea salt doesn't have near the minerals that you get from like a Redmond's real salt. So that's why I like using the Redmond's. M Savory or Mr. Savory, I haven't had a bowel movement since the morning I started the fast 4 days ago. Should I be concerned? So we're repeating a few questions. Guys, go back and watch. I just answered that question a little bit earlier. Caption KC, as of 10 minutes ago, I started into day 5. Can't believe it's already here. And day 5 means you've got like 2 more days after today. It's pretty cool, right? Snoochie says, even though you're not fasting, can you still use the fasting drops? Well, the Keto Chow people make these fasting drops specifically for fasting, but they have an electrolytes drops that have lower levels of this, because you don't need this super high level of sodium and magnesium in the midst of doing just keto. So they have electrolyte drops, which also include potassium in it. So I would recommend those instead. Life on Keto Street says, I woke up early today feeling euphoric, went to the gym for a light workout, put some sauna time in, well hydrated, taking salt and drops. Now I'm achy and fatigued and lying down 90 hours in. Well, you might have overdone it. I've seen some people say, well, I went to the gym, I did a workout, and now I don't feel so good. I'm like, yeah, dummy, I told you not to do that. Remember, you're therapizing your metabolism. And so if you're going through physical therapy, do you go to the gym and work out when you're going through physical therapy for your shoulder to recover a shoulder injury? Do you go to the gym and work out? Nope. So why do you go to the gym? Why do you do all these things in the midst of fasting, which is physical therapy for your metabolism? Tiffy says, I'm struggling right now so badly. Just love your positivity and knowledge. Thank you for sharing. Well, I'm sorry you're struggling, Tiffy. I mean, at some point, it just becomes too much. Please don't be the hero. End it. Try it again another time. I hope I've made that extraordinarily clear that, yes, I set 7 days as the goal, but if you don't make it, it's all right. I'm not mad at you. I'm really not. Very proud of everybody that has done this. Alma says, for me, it's day 3. I'm close to my 4th day. I can't believe it's been so good, only because of you. I'm not scared to do the 7 days. My spouse is freaking out, though. I'm not hungry, and I feel amazing. That's the pay dirt, Alma. That's why you want to do this. You want to, number one, prove to yourself that you're capable of something like this. So kudos to you. Elizabeth says, I'm 48 hours in, only using pink salt and water. Is that safe? Of course. Of course it is. Is no salt the same as real salt? No. Keto plus fasting. No salt is potassium. You don't want no salt. You want salt. You want yes salt. The only yes salt I know is Redmond's real salt. That's the yes salt that you want. Pink Himalayan sea salt, other sea salts will work, but that Redmond's is pure gold. Coffee Kaz says, would you go longer if you felt good on day 7? And I'm contemplating that, Coffee Kaz. Thank you for bringing that up. I am actually traveling on day 7. So day number 7 of this fast for me is Thursday. And midday, 12/17, was when I started on the 4th of July. So 12/17 this Thursday, I'm going to be traveling on the road. I will be driving that day. So I could break it while I'm in my car and eat in my car a little something. But I'm almost tempted, if I do feel well that day, to just keep fasting. And I have a speaking gig on Saturday in Northern Virginia. And so one of the things they want me to talk about in my talk is fasting. So how cool would it be for me to talk about all these benefits of fasting and talk about fasting, and then at the end of it drop the bomb? Oh yeah, today I'm in day 9 of not eating any food at all. How cool would that be to tell them I've been fasting for 9 days? Be awesome. If you've never fasted before, should you try 24 hours? Sure, Tiffy. If you've never done it before, 24 hours is a great goal. Beth says real salt has 84 essential trace minerals. Yeah, I love it. And you taste every bit of the minerals in this salt. It's just so good. Gundolin says, I'm 65 and I don't feel bad normally, but starting today, I feel so awesome like I did at 30. See, fasting is anti-aging. A 65-year-old feels like she's 30 today. That's pretty darn cool. So guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is maybe here in day 4, you might be wondering the question, why am I still pooping this deep into extended fasting? And yes, it was a major gross alert, but it's real life. And I want you guys to see all the ins, outs, literally outs, out the backside, and in-betweens of this fasting so that you're not caught, flat-footed. If you don't know about stuff, you don't know. So I've been trying to let you guys know all the good stuff that happens and interesting stuff that happens in the midst of doing fasting. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content. You got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live just like these guys did here today. Thank you guys for being here on this Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. After 24 hours, it does disappear. Pop on over to YouTube where we house all the past episodes in archived form. It's the Jimmy Rants. If you do keyword Jimmy Rants, that's how you can find it. Or Livin' Low Carb Man, youtube.com/Livin' Low Carb Man. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show. It's a podcast over on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. And we just created a brand new resource on JimmyRants.com. Go to JimmyRants.com/fasting challenge and you'll get all of these fasting videos and fasting resources literally all in one place at JimmyRants.com/fasting challenge. So until next time, we'll see you then.